I've always, for better or for worse, have followed my heart and my instincts, and this is where it brought me to.
Home is about where the people you love are. It doesn't matter what, place you are.
My house is full of teens, and that is hard work.
When Ben and I got back together, I was very, very inspired.
In the latest twist of Hollywood drama, Jennifer Lopez is reportedly speaking out about her to-be ex, Ben Affleck, who's reportedly getting closer to Jennifer Garner.
And when I think about, I was like, the same way This Is Me then captured that moment in time without me realizing it. The first time we kind of fell in love, I wanted to capture this moment.
But why? Sources say Ben's newfound closeness to Garner might be linked to some shady behavior from J.Lo.
You can't buy parenting. You have to get down on the floor and play, at least a little bit. Even if you're a super busy mom or dad, you have to find time for your kids.
And strangely, there are rumors about alleged FBI tapes involving J.Lo that could expose explosive details about her past. What's really going on? Are these tapes the key to understanding Ben's suspicious moves, or just more Hollywood gossip? Let's find out. So, the J.Lo and Ben Affleck divorce drama just took another crazy twist. Ben's been hanging out with his ex, Jennifer Garner, a lot lately, and now there are rumors that they might be rekindling something. Even though some sources say there's nothing romantic happening, they were apparently spotted on a secret getaway together. J.Lo, though, she's not having any of it. Word is she totally flipped out when she saw Ben looking all chill and happy with Jen Garner.
You can't plan your life. Well, that's not how it is, and you have to just be willing to go with what happens.
People thought Ben always looked miserable and depressed around J.Lo, barely even bothering to fake a smile on the red carpet. But if you thought J.Lo would just walk away and move on, think again. The diva is out for revenge and is reportedly going after Ben's fortune, demanding half of everything he owns. Sources close to J.Lo say Ben was basically living off her during their brief marriage, and she was covering all the costs for their lavish lifestyle. But the real deal is, J.Lo's decision to chase Ben's money isn't just because she felt he was a moocher. She's actually furious that Ben's back with Jen Garner, especially since J.Lo put in a lot of effort to keep them apart. Sure, J.Lo never openly badmouthed Jen Garner, always saying they were one big happy blended family. But if you've been keeping up, you've noticed J.Lo's been throwing subtle shade at Jen Garner ever since she got back with Ben in early 2021. Even in her new documentary, ironically called The Greatest Love Story Never Told, J.Lo couldn't resist taking petty jabs at Jen, hinting that Ben was daydreaming about J.Lo throughout his marriage with Jen. Fans quickly called her out for this, pointing out that it's a low blow to talk about your husband's ex, especially when Jen and Ben have 3 kids together. Claiming in her movie that their dad never loved their mom and was secretly hoping to marry J.Lo, that's just harsh. But wait, there's more. Sources close to Jen Garner are saying that J.Lo allegedly tried to undermine Garner's parenting whenever her kids were around. Reportedly, J.Lo would go against Garner's rules and boundaries with the kids. And now, on top of all this, J.Lo wants to take half of Ben's money, the money he might have been planning to leave to his children. It's really hitting a new low for J.Lo, and fans who were already turning against her for other reasons are now saying she's truly showing her true colors with this move. One person wrote, "Everyone warned her not to make the movie. Now she needs to accept things and move on. So she feels humiliated. Please just grow up." Another one added, "Jen, save your dignity and move on. Ben need to heal himself before he can have a healthy relationship. Lessons are hard, but you both can get through. Step back and breath." But now let's dive into the Ben and Jen Garner situation. Are they really thinking about getting back together, or are they just friendly exes? And could this be why J.Lo is plotting her revenge and going after Ben's money? Let's break it down.
It's a wedding, Dan. He's in a wedding. It's a wedding. He's not going to give up his wedding.
Whose wedding?
Benny. It's a wedding he's in.
I want you to call.
Just when we thought the Bennifer divorce drama couldn't get any messier, rumors are swirling that Ben and his ex, Jennifer Garner, have reconnected and are spending a lot of time together amid his split from J.Lo. Although J.Lo and Ben haven't officially announced their divorce yet, sources close to them have confirmed they've been separated for months. While J-Lo is jet-setting around the globe and posting thirst traps to show she's unaffected by the drama, Ben's been busy hanging out with Jen Garner, his ex and the mother of his 3 kids. And surprisingly, Jen Garner is also seemingly dropping hints on Instagram that Ben might be back home. She recently posted a poem by Cleo Wade titled "It Gets Better," which talks about forever being the only thing that lasts. Shortly after, Jen shared a video of Whitney Houston performing her hit song "Where Do Broken Hearts Go?", which includes lyrics like, "Where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there?" So is Jen Garner subtly telling J-Lo she's sort of sorry about her marriage, but still open to taking Ben back? After her split from Ben in 2017, Jen started seeing entrepreneur John Miller, but their relationship has been on again, off again for years. However, they haven't been seen together in a while, and now sources say Jen quietly ended things with Miller as soon as she learned that Ben and J-Lo were done. Jen was also the first to support Ben during his marital issues with J-Lo. Since Ben moved out of the mansion he shared with J-Lo, Jen has been spotted visiting him at his rental home in Brentwood, which is just around the corner from her place.
Is that even humanly possible?
I know.
Biggest thing,
He
do
looks
you like
pretty
it?
good. Yeah, it's a little bit like, whoa, who are you? It feels like I'm having an affair.
It's no surprise that Jen and Ben still have a close relationship given their co-parenting of 3 kids. But here's where it gets juicy. Rumors have been swirling that Ben and Jen have been spending a lot of time alone without the kids recently. And guess what? Those old romantic feelings are reportedly resurfacing. Jen Garner might be the only woman Ben seemed genuinely happy with, and they both claimed it was love at first sight. Ben has even publicly stated that divorcing Garner is his biggest regret, although his addiction issues were a major factor back then.
In 2018, he was seen in this photo being driven to a treatment facility by his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. The 47-year-old calls his divorce from the actress, quote, "the biggest regret of my life."
But why is Ben getting separated from J-Lo? Does he know something more to the story than actually meets the eyes? And what about those leaked alleged tapes? Jen and Ben initially called it quits in 2003 before reuniting 20 years later. As for what caused their breakup back in 2003, Ben revealed that the relentless public scrutiny took its toll on their relationship. However, he later learned to adapt for the new chapter in their love story once they reconnected. He even expressed this sentiment on Jennifer's 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, emphasizing the significance of their reunion. Getting back together, I said, "Listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media." And then I realized it's not a very fair thing to ask, he admitted. It's like you're going to marry a boat captain and you go, "Well, I don't like the water," you know? We're just 2 people with different approaches trying to learn to compromise. Maybe Ben never quite acclimated to having his love life under the public microscope, as it seems that this aspect significantly strained their marriage. There's even a scene from the documentary where Ben appears noticeably uncomfortable with J-Lo sharing details of their old love letters with her friends and colleagues. Adding fuel to the fire, there are allegations that J-Lo pressured Ben to maintain a certain image, which eventually led to frustration on his part. Apparently, J-Lo had convinced him that it's common practice in Hollywood for people to undergo a bit of facial maintenance, including his close friends like Matt Damon. Additionally, many speculate that since they haven't been photographed together since March, the divorce might be related to Jen's involvement in Diddy's case. Around March, rumors circulated that Jen was implicated in some of the crimes, particularly concerning the incident where Natanya Rubin, who was deeply involved, was injured. She has expressed her desire to have the bullet fragments removed from her face for ballistics evidence, indicating her willingness to reopen the case. Natanya Rubin says she is willing to have doctors remove a piece of a bullet that remains in her face to prove Sean Diddy Combs shot her at a New York club in 1999. "I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial," Rubin said on News Nation's Elizabeth Vargas reports. Even if it means risking her life, Natan also claimed that J-Lo outright lied to the jury, suggesting that she should be investigated alongside Diddy.
We all had to go and speak at the grand
If you've been keeping up, J-Lo's been quite a mess lately, apart from the Diddy scandal. She's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons, from her struggling projects to controversies like the Bronx orange drink debacle. And let's not forget the incident where she was caught on camera spinning chewing gum into her assistant's hand in the middle of New York City. Moreover, she's been called out for allegedly mistreating her staff, with fans noting a pattern in the narratives of those who've worked for her. Furthermore, she's been trending again for appropriating Black culture while neglecting to acknowledge the Black artists behind the success of her music. It's hard to ignore the mounting evidence that something's not quite right in J-Lo's world.
I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they cut my laugh and they kept ad-libs and they turned her vocals like all the way down.
So people are saying that if this is the attitude J-Lo brings into her marriage, there's no way it could have lasted. However, there have also been reports suggesting that J-Lo and Ben aren't ready to throw in the towel just yet and might decide to work on their marriage. Ben believes in therapy to a point and is willing to be a good sport about participating with an open mind, even though he hates the whole humiliating process, a source reveals to In Touch. He's never going to gauge the success of this marriage by what happens in the therapist's office. He also has a higher tolerance for conflict and having to fight to get his way than the average guy. After the insider notes that they have known Ben for more than 10 years, they explain that everything is a fight for the Gone Girl actor and Jennifer. The only satisfaction he gets in life is overcoming when the odds are stacked against him, the source adds. Now that they're reunited, the ego battle between Ben and Jennifer was always on full display and is only eclipsed by the obvious passion and respect they have for one another. But there has to be an easier path, and you have to ask why they want their marriage to be this way in the first place. However, an insider exclusively tells In Touch that the high-profile duo has hit yet another rough patch. Look, even when things are quote-unquote good between Ben and Jennifer, their gigantic egos and sharp opinions mean there's going to be some fighting and arguing. But the question still remains the same. Why is Ben being so hard on her? Well, Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene, has a perfect explanation for this. Gene Deal has shared information suggesting that Jennifer Lopez's mother may possess evidence, as she reportedly kept tabs on Diddy during her daughter's relationship with him. But what kind of evidence? So when it comes to behaviors in relationships, any relationship is not perfect. However, there were instances that troubled Gene. For example, when they would return to the studio and find a bunch of girls there, Diddy would try to justify it by saying that, as a superstar, he needed lots of female company for his image. But Jennifer Lopez is no stranger to the industry. She's been on major networks, dealt with high-profile individuals, and more. What bothered him was when they would team up on her, discussing these girls disrespectfully. Sometimes he would be caught in the middle, and she'd look at him, but he couldn't do much because he was Gene's superior.
And they would try to be disrespectful to her. And I would be put in the middle of that bullshit sometimes. And then she'd be looking at me like, yo, Gene.
According to Gene, there was a situation in the studio where a young lady made a disrespectful comment about Jennifer, implying she wasn't all that. That's where the tensions got up. Jennifer was about to confront her when Puff instructed me to take her home. So he drove her back, and she returned to the studio sporting jeans, a ponytail, maybe some Vaseline on her ears, and sneakers. She seemed ready for action. When she got back, Puff promptly cleared out the girls.
And she came back to the studio, and Puff had got them girls out of there. You understand? But she act like she that she was ready to do something.
In the year 1999, as the world prepared for the anticipated Y2K phenomenon, tabloids were dominated by headlines featuring Jennifer Lopez and P. Diddy. Lopez had catapulted to stardom in 1997 with her breakthrough role in Selena, and she continued to make waves with subsequent blockbusters like Out of Sight, Anaconda, and U-Turn. Just 2 years later, in 1999, she expanded her repertoire by releasing her debut album, On the Six, marking a significant step in her burgeoning music career.
To get on the 6 train by myself, go down to the city, do my auditions, do my, dance classes, my voice lessons and stuff like that as like the beginning of everything.
By 1999, Diddy had already established himself as a bona fide rapper, having released his second solo album that year under his label Bad Boy Entertainment, as reported by AllMusic. However, Headlines weren't solely focused on his musical endeavors. Diddy also found himself in the spotlight for less favorable reasons, facing felony A charges for an altercation with Interscope executive Steve Stout, as reported by MTV News. Despite their seemingly disparate backgrounds, Lopez as the charming Latin pop star and Diddy as the bad boy rapper, the two embarked on a romantic relationship in '99. While their love for each other was palpable, a series of scandals and behind-the-scenes chaos eventually strained their relationship.
The Latin and the R&B, nobody's ever really done that. And I feel like because of my background and where I'm from the Bronx, growing up with hip-hop, in the age of hip-hop, and in the age of, when that all started.
The 2000 Grammys marked a pivotal moment when Sean Diddy Combs and Jennifer Lopez graced the red carpet, causing a paradigm shift in public perception. As a couple at the time, their joint appearance at the Music Awards show would typically have dominated headlines. However, Lopez managed to momentarily divert attention with a bold move. She wore the now iconic green Versace dress. This gown, characterized by sheer silk chiffon and a plunging neckline, not only made fashion history, but also left an indelible mark on tech history. The demand for photos of Lopez in this unforgettable garment was so intense that it served as a catalyst for the creation of Google Image. Internet users clamored for glimpses of the dress. And this surge in online searches played a pivotal role in the development of the image search feature that we now take for granted. In a 2015 essay for Project Syndicate, former Google CEO noted, "At the time, it was the most popular search query we had ever seen. But we had no surefire way of getting users exactly what they wanted, J.Lo wearing that dress. Google Image Search was born." Reflecting on the moment, Diddy shared with Entertainment Tonight in 2017 that he sensed the dress would be significant, but didn't know how big it was going to be. Certainly, the journey through Diddy and Lopez's relationship takes an unexpected detour into the iconic fashion moment at the Grammys 2 decades ago. Jennifer Lopez's romantic escapades have consistently held a prominent place in the public eye, shaping the zeitgeist for well over 2 decades. Before the eras of Ben Affleck, A-Rod, or Mark Anthony, there was another A-list megastar who captured her heart and promised a happily ever after, P. Diddy. Despite their relatively brief time together, their year-long romance managed to attract more media attention than many celebrities received throughout their entire lives.
When you were dating J.Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
J.Lo's initial encounter with Diddy occurred during the production of her debut album, On the Six. In those days, she was a wide-eyed ingenue, and he stood as one of the most prominent and sought-after music producers in the scene. Despite the differences in their positions, an immediate connection ignited between them. As the new century unfolded, they evolved into one of the most buzzworthy couples, dominating headlines nearly every day. Whether it was their distinctive fashion sense, musical collaborations, or sizzling public displays of affection, J.Lo and Diddy became a constant presence in the media spotlight.
Honey, my sparks was just flying all off me. She was married at the time, so I was in my own relationship, so I had to have self-control. And then we just became friends.
Their relationship was marked by turbulence, characterized by infidelities, outbursts, and even an arrest. In hindsight, it becomes evident that P. Diddy and J.Lo's union was ill-fated from the start. Diddy was entangled in an on-and-off relationship with Kim Porter when he first encountered Jennifer on the set of his music video for Been Around the World in 1997. Years later, he admitted to intentionally testing the waters with Jennifer, partly to make Kim jealous and encourage her to come back to him. During this period, he would incessantly call Kim 50-60 times a day, while simultaneously being involved with Jennifer. The complexities and challenges of their personal lives cast a shadow over the glamour of their high-profile romance.
I didn't like him because, Sean and I were very different that way.
Kim's lack of response to Diddy's pleas left them both in a volatile relationship that lacked commitment and maturity. Jennifer revealed that she spent a significant portion of her time with Diddy in a tumultuous state, stating that she was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts, and it really took her life in a whole tailspin. Speculatively speaking, many believe that Kim's relationship with Diddy took a hit because of J.Lo. Some suggest that J.Lo might have played a significant role in their breakup. possibly going to great lengths to end their relationship. Given the high-profile nature of both J.Lo and Kim, it's not far-fetched to think that J.Lo could have used her influence or simply her presence to create tension between Kim and Diddy. There's been a lot of drama and speculation surrounding these celebrity relationships, and while it's all speculative, the timing and interactions certainly make it an intriguing possibility. But J.Lo has been involved in really very shady stuff. In December 1999, when Diddy and Jennifer faced arrest in relation to a triple shooting outside a Manhattan nightclub, both were charged with criminal possession of a weapon and stolen property. Jennifer, however, was swiftly released as law enforcement concluded she had no involvement in the incident. Meanwhile, Diddy's charges persisted, leading him to stand trial for bribery and gun possession. Ultimately, he was acquitted of the charges. The legal troubles added another layer of strain to an already tumultuous relationship.
It's hard. It requires so much trust.
In the late 1990s, Jennifer Lopez and Diddy formed a truly stylish power couple, both enjoying the pinnacle of their careers. Their paths serendipitously crossed on a music video set in 1999. Despite Diddy being involved with model Kim Porter at the time, he professed that it was love at first sight when he first laid eyes on Jennifer. Subsequently, their affection for each other was evident on red carpets and during interviews, as they couldn't resist displaying their connection. The way they spoke about one another and their frequent public displays of affection served as evidence of a flourishing relationship, until, of course, an unfortunate incident occurred one night. As reported by the New York Daily News, Jennifer and Diddy had purportedly intended to attend a party at a New York City club. Arriving separately, they entered without undergoing security checks. Once inside, the celebrity duo opted for the VIP section, distancing themselves from the 600-strong crowd. The situation took a sudden turn when Diddy became embroiled in a heated dispute with a bar patron, marked by audible shouts from the rapper. Reports later surfaced that Diddy was taunted for his affluence and responded by flinging money around. Security attempted to intervene and separate the individuals involved, but the altercation escalated, resulting in gunfire. 3 people sustained injuries, with one woman struck in the face and 2 others in the shoulders. An eyewitness claimed that both Diddy and a member of his entourage were responsible for discharging the shots.
At that time, it was not going well. You know what I mean? That was who I was. That's how I was raised.
Diddy swiftly left the scene of the crime within seconds, with Jennifer by his side, tightly clasping her hands as they left the club. The police intercepted the Mercedes they used to escape, and a 9mm handgun was found concealed near Jennifer's feet in the car seat. As a result, both individuals were swiftly arrested for illegal possession of weapons. Handcuffed to a bench at the police station, Jennifer Lopez endured a grueling 14-hour ordeal. A recount from an eyewitness police officer revealed she was crying all over the place. She was just upset about the whole thing. Eventually, Lopez was cleared of any wrongdoing due to a lack of evidence. However, subsequent reports suggested she secured bail by agreeing to provide testimony about the incident. In contrast, Diddy faced an extended legal battle and spent several days behind bars. But people speculate that he ended up in jail because of J.Lo, and maybe she's mixed up in that whole Diddy gay concubine scandal. Could be Ben saw something so bad he just had to divorce her. Maybe he found out she was connected to the shooting, or maybe Diddy did and she stayed quiet. Or maybe Ben caught her with all those Diddy men other women have talked about. That's it for today, folks. Goodbye.